Awesome. We are going to move on to our next speaker. Oh, do you have a giggle? Her name is Elona Lopari. Have I pronounced that all right, Elona?
You did a good job.
Not bad, not bad. She's from Elona Lopari coaching.com. She's a B2C and B2B sales expert, a speaker, a best-selling author. She's worked with Fortune 500 companies and just has a wealth of experience. She's the founder and CEO of Elona Lopari-Life School, where she helps organizations modern development efforts and assist entrepreneurs with connecting with their clients. Once again, human-centered. I love the common theme that's come through our speakers today. Her company's proprietary framework has helped clients close millions of dollars in new and existing business. And so we want to learn from her experience and what she's doing at the moment. So welcome to our summit, Elona.
Thank you so much, Annie, for creating such a beautiful space. And I love what I heard so far. So I know I'm in the right community. I heard service, purpose, and heart-driven, and connecting heart to heart. Those are all great values that I also have with my company and also personally.
Oh, fantastic. So tell us about yourself. Tell us about your life school. How did you go from working with Fortune 500 companies, doing all of this and thinking, you know what, I want to become an entrepreneur and do it, you know, my own way, design something that really works for a modern market. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love whatever I can catch from Jane's piece, but unlike Jane, I did not know I was ever going to be an entrepreneur. I discovered that in my late 30s, which is only 6 years ago. So I'm natively Albanian. My parents migrated here to New York. I'm currently based in New York 25 years ago now. So I was kind of brought up in that blueprint of traditional social sort of American dream kind of way. You come in, you get you finish your school, you get a degree, you get married, you buy a white picket fence home, you have a German Shepherd, 2.5 kids, and you're supposed to be happily ever after. And that's kind of what I attempted to do, right? So I did that. I got my bachelor's. I climbed the corporate ladder. I was always ambitious. I was always someone that wanted to learn and grow. That's a common theme between sort of what I do today with the life school as well. So when I was a couple of years, I was getting promoted every 2 years. I was pretty happy for 15 years. That's how long I was in this corporate environment, so to speak, in the retail industry. And just like anything, the journey ended and I started to grow unfulfilled. The company was purchased by another company, and their culture turned into a profit-driven culture rather than purpose-driven. So I was very happy. I noticed, well, now I have the words, I did not know it at the time, that I need to work for something bigger than me. I need to understand why I'm working, and whatever contribution I am putting in, it's for a greater cause. So I said, all right, I didn't know what the journey was going to lead, what I was going to do. So I kind of dabbled into entrepreneurship. I knew I had a lot of experience. My husband was an entrepreneur for 10 years in the construction industry. So him being the logical guy it's like, you have a lot of experience. Just take what you have and go and help people that need what you know. So that is what I did. I started executive coaching because women leaders is who I knew, and it's a very small niche. I was an executive leader actually in my latest positions. I did HR, marketing, and all of that. And then I still felt like I was in the corporate environment, and I wanted to kind of see the big wide world. I was like a child, trying to explore the world again. Because when you come out of one environment for 15 years, I did not know what I was made of, where I wanted to stay, what was my niche, all these questions that always arise. So I did some career coaching for a while, helping women leaders grow into their careers. And that's when I discovered my gift for business. And I'm like, wait a minute, how was I so successful in all my prior roles? So then I discovered that leadership is very, it's something that is very attractive to me, and I'm very business minded. So that's why I positioned myself in the business space for a couple of years now, grown a 7-figure company. And the life school aspect came to me through growing spiritually. This was a new thing that I developed over the years being an entrepreneur, because I realized the success whatever success was defined from the outside was not making me happy on the inside. So I discovered fulfillment and contribution all are my main important values. And I have to now do a lot of inner work, where I get to do a lot of inner work to really rediscover my values, reinvent myself, and all of that. So that's how the life school came in one of my visions through my life experience, that everything that happened to me shaped the person I am today. And life is its own school. So I wanted to bring in a new school of life. Pretty much whatever we were not taught by society or by traditional schooling into entrepreneurship, and use our purpose and discover our purpose as entrepreneurs to do more good in the world and really build a purpose-driven company. Because that was my first thought. I said, I am going to build the biggest corporate, purpose-driven company, and I'm going to be a corporation. I already had a very, very big vision from the beginning, and now I've kind of, just grown it over the years, so to speak. That's a little bit about my journey.
Oh, what an amazing journey. I absolutely love that. And I love that you've turned it into being something that is just actually going to make you happy and joyful and soulful and leaving an incredible impact on those that you are working with and serving. When you went through this journey, though, your husband's like, yeah, you should do that. You've got lots of skills, become an entrepreneur. What were your biggest challenges that you faced then? Because you went from being in business, I'm assuming they were big corporate companies that you can obviously, you're in a very, very defined niche and role. You suddenly then come into your role, your new business, and then have to set up. Did you spend time researching, the whole infrastructure of how to actually, plan your business to operate? Or did you actually, do pretty much, I'm going to put my sign up, I'm going to start coaching people and doing this? How did you actually approach that?
That's a great question. And I always look back and find some common themes that helped me in that journey. So no, I did not always know. There was a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty. I was always thinking of everyone around me, my kids, life insurance, 401k, all that stuff, insurance, all the security that I had a very high paying job was providing for me. So I guess I did it the baby step way. I started exposing myself to different mentors. That was my journey in the beginning. Podcasting is how I started learning about all the possibilities out there in the world. What else could I do? So I started with that. And then as soon as I could, I hired my first mentor, because that's a different phase and stage of life. And because I was exposed to that, and also coming from a corporate world, the culture of the company was very healthy for many years. And it really leaned on collaboration, mentorship, always, aligning yourself with the right people to support you. Because we cannot do things on our own. I was in leadership positions, so everything I did was with teams. So it was always like, who can I, leverage and help and, get bring around me so that we can, work for that meaningful thing that we're working towards. So I would say those were the couple of baby moves that I made at the beginning. And then I just started growing my business while I was still working, because I had already a lot of leverage with teams and all of that. So I could take away a lot of time that I could put in my business. So I just started side hustling, one thing at a time, learning, growing daily, got my first couple of clients, get my feet wet a little bit, waited 2 years, because even when you grow a business, whether it's online or traditional, because now I have a couple of local businesses and I help local businesses to grow as well, you do need to put in, an investment of your time and energy to build in a new type of network, to build in a new presence, right? So it does take time to grow a business. And I'm a big pioneer for baby steps and growth and making sure your foundation is strong, because I think most people nowadays, they think that business is just like, I'm supposed to just be rich in month 1 or 2. You have to grow through that journey. And I'm a big believer in that. So I did that. I started side hustling. And then when I felt I had good footing, enough income and all of that, and I guess stability, that I just pivoted 100% in my own business.
Wow. One of the biggest challenges can actually be your own views on self, as in when you had that corporate role and you've done all the right things, if you like, according to the parents, that you've got yourself, through college, you're educated, you've got the good job, you've got the good income, and then that can and often does make you feel very, comfortable or proud of yourself, even if it's not the exact role that you're wanting, or that you're getting challenged by the infrastructure or the morals or the behavior of an organization. When you suddenly become an entrepreneur, then it can be, one, very lonely. It can also really throw your headspace of, well, who am I now? Because now I'm not earning that income initially. I'm not, getting that same sort of credibility. And also you've got other family going, what on earth have you done? You could have been earning so much more somewhere else. How did you actually approach that to actually start really believing that in your own self-worth and your capacity to actually do far more than you had done in a different environment? It doesn't happen overnight, but it's a real journey that I know those listening into this summit will be at varying stages of this journey. So I think it's a really good one to speak to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say all of the above that you mentioned. Loneliness was the first one. As I was used to working with people and teams, I'm like, where are my people? Like, I'm a solopreneur. I have to do it all on my own. So for me, it was a I guess, trauma or like a change right then and there in that mindset. The other thing was about really, redefining who I was. So I had to do a lot. Well, I don't like that, but I got to do a lot of inner work to figure out what were my values. Because again, I was just transferred into the culture, I was transferred into the corporate environment, all of that. I learned and grew and all of that, but I had to recalibrate everything in my life. What are my priorities? What kind of life am I trying to create? So I had to reorganize a lot of my values, first of all. What was important to me and what was our going to build in the next 2 or 3 or 4 years? Now, I've always been a visionary, so living in the future is my home. And that sometimes comes with its challenges. I'm always thinking ahead. Even today, I work 5 years ahead, right? So that was something that helped me, I think, to stay patient, because I saw the potential. Through all the learnings and the growing that I was doing, I saw the potential that this journey I was embarking on, even though it didn't feel good for the first 2 years, by the way, I want to quit my business every day and go to safety. I think that's one big thing that a lot of people don't speak about, because you're growing through a new challenge, right? You're outside of your comfort zone. So every time the going got tough and I had those days of uncertainty, I'm like, what am I doing? Like whatever I'm putting in, is this ever going to come back to me in some sort of way? Like, I did not know. I did not know what the journey, endeavors. So I had to grow a lot of my spiritual faith. That was, one thing that I leaned on very heavy. So I started to work a lot with my spiritual health, so to speak, and study. That's how I got into neuroscience. And I'm like, oh my God, there's something more, like the universe, something else is helping me, right? I mean, I hope I'm not alone, because it's just very scary at the beginning. So I would say these practices, like realigning my priorities, understanding how to intentionally now create the life that I wanted to create, undo a lot of habits from like employee mindset to entrepreneur mindset, even the way my day looked, like old habits that no longer served me. So it's a big period of transition into it. But I would say faith, growing spiritually a lot, and believing that if it's something that is calling me and is part of my purpose, which is now I know that's what it is. I did not know it at the time. Then there's another force helping me, so I'm not alone. So I just stayed in faith as much as I could and grew that practice with journaling, meditation, exercise, all these different practices, until I got out of the waters. And I'm like, okay. And then I start seeing results. And then you become comfortable, right? I mean, with experience, you start the things that used to be so hard a couple of months ago, they became easy. I don't think things changed. It's because I just grew through the process. So I would just say it's taught me a lot of patience.
Oh, thank you for sharing that so openly and honestly. I really appreciate that, because I know it's just going to help so many people who listen in on this session, because it can be a very lonely time. It can be a time where it's really easy to give up. It's a time that you can, doubt yourself. It's a very easy time to start putting, getting your blinkers off and looking at what everybody else and how amazing they are and how they make it look so easy. And so it is, it's one of those, dig deep, keep focusing, push, ask for, definitely get mentored if you can, a mentor to help you through this process, because you can definitely fast track it for sure. But it's a challenging one. And when you come through the other side, it's funny that some people, the amount of people who say exactly what you just said, Elona, going, I don't think I did anything different. I just grown through the process, because you're expecting to suddenly have an aha moment, and then you suddenly see opportunity. You go, no, I saw it before. It just wasn't coming. But the momentum builds the momentum and the opportunities, and that's what it is. And it's that confidence, and it's really leaning into that. So what platforms and channels do you find the most effective for you at this stage of your business?
So something I was doing before my presence on social media, which was only something that I started a little bit before COVID. Once I understood the power of it, and I got mentored on how to use these new channels or new tools, so to speak, because I was doing a lot of belly-to-belly networking, building trust like that. And that's still pretty helpful, obviously, for business, because anytime, someone can meet you live, it kind of helps us, the trust process, right? Everything is the trust that we build with another human being. So that's kind of something that I've done. But then once I understood the power of social media, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a powerful tool for my business. So that's kind of what I did to start, start growing on these platforms, putting myself out there, creating helpful content from what my knowledge was, understanding, sharing parts of my journey that I thought would help my audience, but also working with a mentor and clarifying who the audience is, what are the offers, and all that good stuff that we need to now learn, that I teach other people and grow in their business and influence, right? Or your personal brand, because especially with the age that we are on, today, personal brand is everything, because again, people buy from Elona and Jane and Annie, not so much of products and services. I niche myself in the service industry because I love this industry. However, I do work with a couple of product-based companies that nowadays, with the age of social media and the influence and the power that it has, people want to know who's behind, their product, who's behind the book I wrote, or who's behind, beauty product or whatever it is. So I would say, my main channels of influence and the way that I reach my audience, and Facebook is really powerful for me. LinkedIn, because I do a lot of business to business, and I also teach. I've gone back home with corporations in a way or another. So now I do it on my terms. I pick my clients, I pick the corporations that I work with that really align with my values, and I bring back a lot of my knowledge and expertise with them. So LinkedIn is the other one, which is really powerful for my brand, and it aligns with the work I do as well. And then, of course, at this phase and stage, I do obviously paid traffic as well, because why not? Either you put in the time or you put in the money. So I do ads and funnels and all that good stuff that you get to build as, technology advances, and there's new ways to reach your people.
What have been the biggest challenges from that when you started using paid advertising? Did you have clarity around that? Was that a learning curve that you're happy to share? Because it's very specific on making sure you know what you're actually putting that money towards, who you're actually trying to attract. So you said you already felt that you had good clarity around your avatar, but did that prove to be true?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I grew organically first, and that's what I tell businesses. You want to grow organically. There's so many organic channels nowadays to utilize. And until a certain point in my business, that's where I started investing in paid traffic and funnels, or Facebook ads, or ads in the different platforms. But I would say I hired people that were good at those things, and I learned the process, right? I model success. I mean, it's the fastest way to working smart and not hard. I'm always about that. Who doesn't want to do that? So you hire mentors that could teach you how to be strategic and how to align your messaging with the right platform and the right offers, and how, what is the process and the steps for people to build trust with you now, not in a non-organic way, but in a different way, where honestly the process is the same. You're still taking people through the same know, like, and trust process, but you're just paying for that. So obviously your funnel is working for you, putting in money rather than time. So that's what helped me, best practices. And of course now becoming, this is what I teach in my programs as well. But at the beginning, I always believe in borrow someone else's wisdom. If they do this for years, right? I mean, why would you? I would skip the test and trial, and I would learn, and I would continue on and keep building that way. That's kind of what I do all day, every day. That's why I love this industry.
I love that. If it's not your area, definitely outsource it. Which brings me on to my next question, was how do you measure and track your success in your e-commerce efforts? So are they done in an outsourced way that they're run for you and then they'll just give you those metrics, or do you actually measure and track them yourself?
Yeah, well, now I have a marketing department in my company that does that. So I'm always aware of what are those efforts behind our marketing, what is it that we need to do, what are the results for our marketing campaigns, whether it is products that we're selling or our services. So I'm very in tune with my team. We collaborate on that because my vision is to build a big company. I mean, hiring contractors and vendors was great, obviously, for whatever stage and phase you are in. But if you're going to have this as a continuous process in your business, then obviously it is definitely worth investing in the right systems and team so you have it in-house. So that is what I do and what I have built now.
So are you working 24/7? You sound like a very, very entrepreneurial focused woman in all of the conversation we've had. Like, so how much time per week are you spending on your business or in your business?
Yeah, I don't track time. I work on blocking. I work on priorities. I don't do 9 to 5s. I don't do 8 to 4s. That does not work for my lifestyle and for my vision. I am in harmony. Certain days I focus on certain things at certain periods of time in my personal life and in my business. And that's honestly how I operate. I plan ahead in quarters, in years, and I just focus on those priorities. And for me, my personal life, my business is the same. So if I have to personalize my health, my family time, my couple time, whatever extended family travel, whatever else I need to do, it just goes on my calendar. So everything, I live by my calendar and by my agenda. And if I need to take a 2-hour, I love that Jane said that before, it's my life. I'm the CEO. So if I need to take 2 hours to do whatever thinking time, I am more in the thinking now than the doing, obviously, because I built a lot of leverage. But if I need 2 hours or a whole day that I can just clear my agenda because I have, I think that's important, I will do that. So I will always work on the most important priorities, and I'm always about working smart and not hard. That's why I'm a process girl. Everything is like I figured out how the process works and how to shorten it.
I can feel it. You're like, yep, how does it work? I'll do all the dots. I love that. As long as someone's looking after you, we've heard from previous speakers the value of, networking and being in your tribe and feeling supported yourself as well as, growing with others. A lot of your strategy has been a bit more of, systems, processes, paid SEO, paid advertising, other things like that. So how do you balance that sort of thought of, okay, well, I need to have my people, I need to be networking for future clients, or do you actually say most of that actually happens online?
So I prioritize based on the priorities of the business, right? So what are our impact goals and our profit goals, right? For me, I always have to have those two together. Otherwise, it's not the highest use of my time or even the teams or any resources that I put together. So I would say I am very good at structuring companies. So for me, everything is like a house. The company is like a house, and there's, different bedrooms, right? Just like our home, we have a bedroom, a bathroom, kitchen, all need to work around the big, the home, the atmosphere. So I structure a lot of my company's departments out, and then once, processes are implemented, people just are free to continue and to follow the right processes as I, envision for the future. I'm the visionary. I've discovered that is my gift. So I love connecting dots. I will always be the face of my company because that's what I was born to do. And then I delegate the rest, and I hire the same people. So I do a lot of organic, and I do also a lot of other things. But the other thing that I do very well and what I teach businesses is based on whatever phase and stage you're in, you need to look at your business model, because whatever business model, and that has to align with your goals, right? Because I love that you talked about that with Jane, with service. Sometimes with service, it's hard to remove yourself from your work because, you know, you probably have that connection with your clients, right? So taking a look at your business model so that it serves the growth of the company, but also your vision moving forward, I think it's important and it's always evolving. So I would say like the business model is like the root of the home. It's like the big pillars of the home. That's your business model. That is how you make income and impact. And looking at that so that it serves you for all the phases and stages is very important. And then you just build the different things around it, which are your little departments, or like your kitchen, your bedroom, your bathroom, right? So your company all works in harmony because your company is a breathing, you know, it's a breathing function, or the right word's not coming to me, but it's its own entity, right? So you got to treat it as such.
I love it. I love the way you've communicated all this over your presentation. I love your design thinking. You're a classic design thinker. Oh my goodness, I love it. It's just like just architecturally draw it, map it all out, make it all happen, and then it's got all the systems and processes. I can see why you have done so well, and I really thank you for sharing with us today. I want everyone to reach out to Elona. You can find her at elonaloparicoaching.com. You also find her on LinkedIn and through our summit links. So thank you so much, Elona, for sharing with us. I found it incredibly valuable, and I'm thanking you, Jane. Thank you for those claps. Absolutely wonderful. I'm now
Thank you so much for having me.
It is such a pleasure, such a pleasure.